One of the most common comments in the section down below most of my videos is, can I get off blood pressure medication? And let me just cut to the chase. The answer is yes. But in this video, I'm going to discuss with you some methods to go about doing that, because it's not as simple as just stopping. The other day, I had a Zoom consultation with someone, and I'm actually in practice. Unlike a lot of YouTubers where YouTube is their, and social media is their primary source of income, they don't practice anymore. I actually see patients in my office. I'm in my office right now. And this patient that we did a Zoom consultation for, of which we do this, if you want to contact me, my information is down below. We do Zoom and phone consultations from all over the world. And they asked, how do I wean myself off blood pressure medication? And it was an interesting discussion, and that's what sparked this video. So upon questioning him, it turned out for the last 4 days, he was not taking his blood pressure medication. And I kind of told him, there's no weaning off blood pressure medication. You're already off. Weaning off is slowly titrating it down over time so that you eventually become non-dependent upon that medication. It would be like an alcoholic. You know, if you're 60 days sober, you don't have to wean yourself off alcohol. You're off alcohol. So this was not the advice, this was not the way I would do it, but this is what the patient did. He just decided that he wanted to try a natural approach, so he just stopped taking his medication. And that is absolutely not recommended. So a couple things in regard to the how to do it. The first is, you have to believe that it can be done. This is the big problem. If you don't get past this one thing, you simply will not get off blood pressure medication. And that is, as strange as this sounds, and just stay with me here, and at the end of the video I'll cover some more stuff, more details. But you have to believe that it can be done. If you don't believe that you can get off blood pressure medication, then you're right, you will never get off blood pressure medication. The entire system is based on the fact that you will not get off blood pressure medication, by the way. And this is a pet peeve of mine, but we call what we have here healthcare. This is not healthcare. This is disease management care. And if you start calling it that, you'll have a better understanding of why this is such a challenge. When you're given blood pressure medication with no information of how to naturally lower your blood pressure and get healthy, then that is a management of a disease process. It's not health. You can't take, there's no drug that makes you healthy. Healthy comes from our lifestyle from within. So call taking blood pressure medication a management of disease process. It's not healthcare. So when you say it that way, you have to understand that it's to stop a number from occurring. That's really all it is, because blood pressure is considered the silent killer. And the reason it's called the silent killer is because it's slowly damaging your body, but you really don't have any symptoms. 99% of people do not know they have high blood pressure because they can't feel it. So call it disease management. That's very important. Now that you call it disease management, let me ask you this. When you're sick with a bacterial infection and they give you antibiotics, do you have to be on antibiotics forever? No. It's to manage a disease. Once the disease is gone, you don't need the medication anymore. If you have cancer and you're getting chemo and radiation, you don't keep doing that forever. You do it until the disease is gone. So why is it with blood pressure that once you're on blood pressure medication, there's this feeling that you should be on it for the rest of your life? I'm going to tell you why. Because your doctor knows that you're probably, statistically, not going to change your lifestyle at all. In fact, it's going to get worse. Statistically, you're going to gain more weight as you get older. Statistically, you're going to get fatter. Statistically, your skin is going to get more wrinkly. Statistically, you're going to get more gray hair. Whatever habits that have led you to develop high blood pressure are probably not going to change. That's the feeling in this disease management healthcare / system that we have. So doctors don't waste their time. They don't have time. They're not paid to do it. You can't, if you're a medical doctor, you cannot see 6 patients a day. With the prices that the insurance companies pay them, you cannot do it. It's just not feasible. Your primary care doctor needs to see 20, 30, 40 patients a day just to almost make money and break even. By the way, as a side note, that's why so many doctors go on YouTube, because you can make more money on YouTube through doing a stupid video than you ever can in private practice. So that's the reason there's an explosion of this. It's not all altruistic. Trust me on that. But the blood pressure, you get a patient that walks in who smokes 3 packs a day, is 120 pounds overweight, their cholesterol is up, their blood sugar's up, their blood pressure's up, their enzymes of their kidneys are questionable, they got non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. What are the odds that person is going to change? Very little. Now, if you're watching this video and you've stuck around this long, I appreciate you for doing that. You're going to do it. What I'm getting at is it can be done. If you get healthy, blood pressure drops in most cases, unless there's some strange genetic abnormality. It can happen, but you have to believe it can happen. So what's the process? Let's get into the nitty-gritty about it. The process is, if you're on 3 or 4 medications right now for your high blood pressure, first of all, my guess is you're on other medications as well. So forget the disease. Stop talking about the disease. You got to talk about the potential for health. What is your capacity for health? What can you do? What are your options? Well, there's supplements, there's exercise, there's diet, there's mental capacity training. Let's cover, firstly, the easiest things that you can do. And first of all, don't change any of the medications yet. You're going to start gravitating your body towards health. It happens in time. It happens over a period of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, for some people a year. If you're 120 pounds overweight and you're on 3 different medications, you're not going to get your blood pressure back to normal in a week. It doesn't matter how many supplements you take. But what are the things that you can start now? The first is exercise. And I have many videos about this. Just watch my channel. But let me give you the nitty-gritty. Most people, and I'm assuming you're, 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana people, you can't exercise much. Telling you to swim is ridiculous. Telling you to ride a bicycle is ridiculous. Telling you to walk for an hour is ridiculous. You have to start somewhere. Even if you can only walk 2 minutes, you have to develop the consistency. Because what I want you to start thinking is, what would Jack LaLanne do? You know how people wear the bracelets, what would Jesus do? What would Jack LaLanne do? You have to exercise every single day, 7 days a week. Now, that's not as big of a deal as you think, but can you go outside and go for a walk every day? And stop making excuses. If it's too cold outside, walk somewhere in your house. If you don't have a house, walk outside. The excuses have to stop. You have to do this. This is the key component. This is the hub of the entire game plan of how to lower blood pressure. You've got to exercise. There's just no way around it. Now, what will happen is as you start to walk 2 minutes a day, you'll get in better health capacity. You will start to be able to walk 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Now, your goal is to walk 1 hour. If you don't have time for that, then you have time to take blood pressure medication. But how can you do an hour a day? If you can't do that, there's other ways. And I just mentioned cardiovascular exercise, but could you do an exercise bicycle? Could you do a treadmill where you run faster? As you get healthier, your potential to do more will go up. There are isometric exercises. Isometric meaning that you can squeeze a towel. You can do a wall sit. You could do a plank. You could do Supermans. I have many videos about different isometric exercises that help high blood pressure. And these are very simple, simply because you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go outside. You don't even have to change the room that you're in. There's also weight training. And the purpose of weight training is not so much to lower blood pressure, but to increase your muscle mass and decrease your body fat percent. When you do that, the heart and cardiovascular system does not need to work as hard. And when that happens, your metabolism speeds up, which means your calories that you can eat go up and yet lose body fat. The greatest thing that you could do is lose body fat. So weight train once or twice a week. Do isometrics. You could do those daily. But what if you did those? I mean, let's face it only takes 5-10 minutes. But you could do that daily or 3-4 times a week on days that you don't weight train. And then do a little cardio every single day. Now right there, boom, you've got 50% of the game won. You could literally keep eating the way you're eating and have all the stress in the world and only do that, and you'll notice significant change. But what about the other 50%? Let's get into that. Number one, the diet. Boy, if you want to start a fight, tell someone about what diet you follow. They don't care. There's so many named diets. Let me name a few, and instead of discussing what their differences are, let's discuss why they're so similar. And this is based on all the comments that I get. Carnivore, keto, ketovore, some variation of that, paleo, caveman diet. You've got the zone diet, the Atkins diet. You've got Mediterranean diet. You've got a vegan, a vegetarian, and then the vegans say it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Well, okay, then we won't include you. All these diets, they're actually more similar than they are different. Why do I say that? The reason why, because they all eliminate the same foods. Dummy, right? Don't eat McDonald's, don't eat sodas, don't eat processed foods. If you just did that, you don't have to figure out which diet you follow. You don't have to join a tribe. You don't have to join a cult. It doesn't have to be so cultish. It's stupid. Just don't eat processed foods. It's that simple. Now, some people don't like the taste of vegetables, so they geared towards more of a ketovore, carnivore type of diet. Some people have high cholesterol, high triglycerides, high LDLs, and they find that more of a Mediterranean or plant-based diet, whole food plant-based, I love that, diet will work better for them. Everyone's different. There's a diet that's going to help you. And the great news, this is the best part, you don't have to name the freaking diet. You don't have to join a tribe. You don't have to walk into a party and tell everyone that you're doing keto. You don't have to tell anyone what diet you're following. Just eat less processed foods. And right there, that's what makes all the diets similar. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I was discussing this with a patient who, of course, has high cholesterol. And I asked him, I said, I'm going to give you a test question. Is a carrot healthy? And he had that deer in the headlights look. He was afraid to answer. He said, I don't know, because he watches a lot of YouTube, you know. And you know what I'm talking about. All the nut jobs that will victimize the carrot. It's got lectins, it's too high in sugar. It's a high glycemic index food. Seriously, go to the mall. Have you seen any obese person that got that way from eating freaking carrots? So this guy in my office, this patient, he doesn't know. He has no idea whether a carrot is good for you. And this is the problem. This is the reason why these cults have just confused the freaking crap out of people. We can't figure out, the average person doesn't know whether a carrot is healthy or not. It is, by the way. I said, what about a banana? What about a peanut? Then I said the peanut. Oh, people, wow, you want to victimize something. Victimize the peanut. I said, what about a peanut? Is peanut healthy? Again, I don't know. And I said, yes, it is. Unless you're allergic to peanuts and you have an anaphylactic shock and you die, you can't breathe. So to one person, a peanut is extremely unhealthy, but that doesn't mean it's unhealthy for everyone. And this is where all the diets go wrong. They want to victimize the other diet so they can sell their books and their programs and become more popular. If you don't know whether food is healthy or not, it shouldn't be difficult. The funny thing is, when we talk about the blue zones and what diets they tend to follow, these blue zones are all over the world. They all follow different diets because their food is local. The thing that's common between them is they eat natural foods from their environment. They don't eat foods that are processed. And when you think about it, all these people that are living to be 100, when you ask them, how did you do it? Most of them, they don't know. They just eat simply. That's their answer usually. You have all those outliers that smoke and drink and, do that, but that's rare. That's rare. Statistically, eat better food. So you're exercising, you're eating less processed foods. Now, the next level stuff is the mental. Controlling stress levels, controlling cortisol, because cortisol will damage you in tremendous ways. There's a number of ways to do this. I'll put links down below to some books that I've found that have been helpful. But let me give you just a kind of a quick synopsis. You got to change your attitude. You got to change your attitude in how the world works. I have patients that come in and they are so stressed out. I go, what are you stressed about? The president, the this, the environment. None of these things we have any control over. If you voted, congratulations. If you lost, oh well. In 4 years, you get to change your mind again. You can vote for someone else. But whoever is president doesn't seem to have a big effect on your day-to-day activities. That's just my opinion, or at least that's how I take the world. When I get up in the morning, I'm going to try to achieve what I can achieve. It doesn't matter who the president is 3,000 miles away from where I am. In addition to that, stop calling things a problem. think about solutions. I had someone I worked with when I first started in practice told me something that always stuck with me. He said, winners worry about solutions. Losers worry about problems. And I thought, okay. And his concept was this: anytime there's a problem, boom, think about a solution. What is the solution? How do we solve this? How do we get going? Stop dwelling on the problem. And how many people do that? It's amazing. A technique that's very useful on a daily basis that can lower your blood pressure is deep breathing, some form of meditation or whatever you want to call it. What I teach patients is to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, as deeply as they humanly can. Kind of like a Wim Hof style of breathing. That seems to be the easiest for most people to grasp and understand. To tell people 4, 7, 8, you breathe in for 4 sevens, 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7, exhale for 8. A lot of the patients that I see, they come back the next time and they're like, I forgot the numbers. You could write it down for them. And they go, well, and it depends on a person's health. I have patients that take a deep breath in, and because they're so out of shape, they can't hold their breath for 7 seconds. It's too difficult. Or they get so confused by the numbers that it doesn't work. Just breathe in as deeply as you humanly can through the nose. And the reason we do that is because when you inhale through the nose, there's something that's magic. There's something kind of magical happens. Your body produces more nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas that's developed in the cells interlining the lumen of our blood vessels called the endothelial cells. And it's a gas, and what this gas does is it helps dilate and relax the blood vessels. And so you can have an immediate change in your blood pressure just by doing deep breathing. What's interesting is it happens immediately, but when you practice it every day for like 5 minutes, you start to have a cumulative effect on your body and your blood pressure. And so just doing deep breathing exercises every day for 5 minutes can have a tremendous effect for the long term. First of all, from a mental state, because all of a sudden you get out of this mental problem of dealing with problems and start to relax your body and deal with solutions. It's fascinating. Now, we're going to talk about the icing on the cake. How do you get healthy? What supplements do you take? There's magnesium supplements. There's L-arginine and L-citrulline. There's beetroot supplements. There's potassium supplements. There's lots of different supplements, and I'll put some links down below if you want in the description. But you cannot supplement your way out of lack of exercise, bad mental capacity, and a bad diet. That's important. Don't just take the supplements. Don't be a dum-dum. You can't do that. That's the icing on the cake when you have everything squared away. You can't just take supplements. It's not enough. What's amazing is some people do, and it does change their blood pressure enough. But remember, you're not trying to manage disease. We're trying to change health. That's important. I have a lot of patients that I've given this advice to. And a lot of them haven't followed the advice. They just don't do it. I tell them this stuff. They come in a month later and go, well, how did it go? What'd you do? What was successful? And, oh, I forgot, But I have had quite a bit that have followed this advice. And amazing results. It's freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome to help someone change their life. and get off medication that their primary care doctor thought they were going to be on for the rest of your life. Didn't think they were going to be on, told them, you're going to be on this for the rest of your life. You know, medication was making them sick and lethargic, and, you know, they were just like, I just want to change. I go, well, if you want to change, first of all, you have to understand it can change. Just like any disease, it can change if you get healthy. Stop trying to manage the disease and start getting healthy, and give it time. If you're 5 pounds overweight, it's going to happen a lot faster than if you're 120 pounds overweight. If you're 65 years old, 70 years old, it's going to take a lot longer than if you're 40 years old. But shit, man, there's a lot of 30, 40-year-olds, they're already on cholesterol medications, plural. They're already on blood pressure medications, plural. I mean, at 30, 40, what the hell, man? That's forever. Not good. Not good. So it's pretty cool to have influence and to help people see the light and get healthy. For a more complete explanation of all this, right here on the side, there's a little video. This is my complete guide. This is a long video. What I would recommend here is take notes, figure out what you can do immediately and get started, and then keep those notes. And as you start to improve your health, you'll find that you can definitely, for most people, get off blood pressure medications. So watch this video.